to pray, and he found the jars of blood. Our world is so vain and feeble, broken by the slightest breeze or breath. Our hearts are so deceitful, sick and filled with lies that lead to death. We are cowards and thieves, we never turn to cream the damage done. Never see, never quake with rage at what we have become, what we have become. Down on one knee, we played chivalry, but we do not count the cost. We say the mere can depend, we'll be there till the end, we will not bear the cross. Our word is so vain and feeble, broken by the slightest breeze or breath. Our hearts are so deceitful, sick and filled with lies that lead to death. We are cowards and thieves, we never turn to grieve the damage done. Never see, never quake with rage at what we have become, what we have become. Cowards and thieves, we never turn to grieve the damage done. Never see, we quake with rage at what we have become, what we have become. Cowards and thieves, we never turn to grieve the damage done. Never see, never quake with rage at what we had become, what we have become. Vancouver says hello. CS8 says hey, hey, hey. Someone whose name I can't read and is very long says hi. CS8 says Dyson. Ben Graves, yo, I'm here. Vancouver says DG says cool ranch. Red Ted says hi. Marco says sup. What is that? VBTS? Twitty Bird? Huggy Wuggy Gaming? We'll just say Twitty. Twitty says Bissell's the best. DC-15 and 14 in the background. Looks like you got two DC-15s. Yeah, just the 15 and the 14. Vancouver got a Concept 1 today. That's fun. Make more vacuum videos live. I really should. I don't know why I never do. Do you own any Eminem CDs? I do not. I'm not a big rap guy, and I'm not the biggest fan of Eminem primarily because I'm not a fan of the genre. Although I do like that new Houdini song. I do kind of like that one. Red Ted IMO, the 12B1 is significantly better than the 1240, even though they're basically the same vacuum. Well, yeah, the 12B1, isn't that the 10 amp one? Because the 10 amp one is definitely better than the 8 amp one just because of the motor. Mostly into rock music like Green Day, etc. Yeah. Tato in the Cube, yeah. Has anyone seen a pink/teal Power Express on sale at all? Ever since 2020, they just disappeared on Walmart's website and in stores. I have a teal one that I actually bought back in 2021 or 2020, whenever it came out. I had given it to my mother-in-law for a while because her red one had died, and I was past the return period and I didn't need it. It was still brand new, so I gave it to her, and then she gave it to one of her family members, and then they sucked up something gross in it, I think, or at least that's what they told me, and then they gave it back to me, and I haven't touched it since. It's been sitting in the basement. But other than it being briefly used and apparently stunkified, I did buy it brand new. So I do have one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm not going to throw it away, though, because it is a perfectly good vacuum. Do you have a Power Force Helix new model purple? I still have a 2191. Is that the... Yeah, that's the Helix. I still have a 2191U with a really, really, really shitty sounding motor that I use upstairs in the room that doesn't have any carpet with a nasty floor. One of these days I'll throw it away, or if I don't throw it away, I'll maybe open it up and clean out the motor, or maybe replace the motor with a different one. I don't know. I do have a Big Green Pro Crop, and I'm selling it because I hate bagless on commercial vacs, and I prefer bagged commercial vacs over bagless. Yeah, I agree. No in stores right now. No, to my knowledge, there's only the red one. Red Ted, okay, I love the design of the Power Force bagless earlier. Helix with the filtration is god awful, which often leads to those machines having shop motors, sadly. The good news is that the filtration's still decent enough on the Power Forces that if you're a vacuum collector and you stay up to date on the filters and you keep the filters clean, you don't let them get as bad as most consumers do, then they won't have that problem. Realistically, they won't have that problem. Because, yeah, the filtration is god-awful, but realistically... And I've said that, too. I've always said they're god-awful. But that doesn't mean that they're so god-awful that you can't use it. You very much can. That's original clean views that do that. Yeah, the original clean views are definitely way more difficult to properly... You really... The Power Force bagless and Clean View 2 bagless, as much as I hate those Style 10 filters for how poorly they wash... Objectively, in terms of airflow and them keeping clean, it's basically an F1 or a DCF5, whatever the light speed filter is. I don't know if that's the right number, filter, but just in the bottom of the cup behind a shroud. So in theory, they should be better than the breezes and the light speeds and all that. I think I need to just put this to the test. I think I need to grab my turbo and I need to use it for a month. And just never clean the filter and just see what it does. Because those do let more dust through than a light speed for sure. But they should be pretty comparable to a breeze. In theory. I have an idea too. I think one little trick you could probably do is if you have those bagless models, the Power Force bagless, Clean View 2 bagless models, you could probably take that same material that's, that foam gasket that's on the fan chamber of a lot of Oryx. You could probably get some of that material and line it around the bottom of that style 10 filter, so when you put it on the bottom of the filter cup and you twist it, it seals a little bit better. And then from there, it would force more stuff through the filter. So that actually might be a good idea. I know Mad About Hoovers had the UK version of the turbo that I have, and he had put a piece of cardboard against the filter as kind of like a makeshift gasket. And it worked. What Bissell? So since we're on the topic of Bissell, what Bissell should I do a video on next? Power Groom baglesses are even worse. To be fair, the one that I had very well may have, the Power Groom multicyclonic that I had may have been missing a gasket. Would you ever find Would you ever find a Herbo Tuberfauer? God damn it! Would you ever find a Hoover Turbo Power 2000? There we go. I don't understand am I misreading these questions? Because so many people ask me, would you ever find one? And I'm like, are you asking me if I believe I would find one, like, natively? Or are you asking me, like, if I could just make myself find one? Or are you asking, like, if I found one, would I grab it? Because I'm not really sure how to interpret that, the way that's written. Because I could find one, and when I get it, if it's a good price, yeah. I did see one in Indianapolis, and it was like $90 for a used one at a nasty ass sketchy flea market, and I was like, not a chance in hell. I love how I was just talking about wanting to do that experiment with the bagless Bissels, and everyone's like, oh, run these bagged Bissels. It's like, that's kind of funny. But I guess that gives me options. Could you review the Power Force Helix purple stores right now? I reviewed the blue one. It's the exact same other than the color. Take the plastic off the bagged lift off? I don't want to do that. Have you done anything with the Empowers? I have not. They've sat in the basement and gotten flooded out multiple times. Best pistol I have was a Cleanview 2. I do, honestly, I wish I kept my Cleanview 2. Now that I have the original Cleanview in perfect condition, that green Cleanview 2 that I had, I regret selling. I wish I had kept it. It was in great shape. I don't remember having any problems. I don't even remember selling it, but I must have. I must have sold it at some point. But yeah, so if you were the person I sold that Cleanview 2 to, can I have it back? Or can I buy it back? But yeah, because now I wish I had the Cleanview 2, because I have the original Cleanview and I have the Cleanview 1 pass. And so I want to get the Cleanview 2 again. And I always wanted an original Cleanview 2 model, the basic one that wasn't the Plus or the Deluxe. I don't understand why I sold it. I don't know why I sold it. I wish I had kept it. Was there something wrong with it that like annoyed me enough to like sell it, or I don't even remember at this point. But yeah, I wish I had kept it. I mean, it's not a big deal because I have the Power Force bagless turbo. Vancouver, I want the blue deluxe. I had one many years ago. I would have sold you that. I would have sold you that blue deluxe if you still wanted it. That's the thing, is those damn Bissels. It's really hard for me to not sell them because people want them so badly. Like they're in super high demand among collectors, so it's kind of hard for me not to sell them. But then I'm like, could you review the Power Force Helix Turbo Rewind? I thought I did. Oh, I have one of those NOS new in the box as well. If anybody wants the old style one, new model. I have one that's the old model, but I'm not going to bother reviewing the new model because I already reviewed the Helix and the Helix Turbo. I remember you sold the Cleanview 2 Deluxe to Vacuum Observatory. That's where it went. I was trying to remember what I did with it or who I sold it to. That makes sense. I hope he still likes it, or if he even still has it. I don't know if he does. If he doesn't, I just really hope, for the love of God, that if he did get rid of it, that he sold it to another collector. Because, I mean, obviously, you can do whatever you want with a vacuum after you buy it, but I would have been a little, not upset per se, but just a little disappointed if, you know, if it didn't end up in the hands of another collector. What happened to your 8975 from 5-6 years ago? I sold it long ago. I got the motor just good sounding enough to where it ran, and it didn't affect how well it ran. And it was loud, but it was, like, tolerable. Not for me, but, like, for a normal person. And, yeah. Yeah, I do need to list more vacuums on eBay. I have jack shit on there right now. I need to list a lot more vacuums. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to make it a goal to list more vacuums. Because there's a bunch that I want to sell. I'm really trying to downsize, but just the hassle of going through it is kind of annoying. Are you selling any vacuums at the moment? A bunch. A bunch. Off the top of my head, Hoover Constellation, Hoover Celebrity 3, Electrolux Model S, Auric XL Pro, Riccar Vibrance, Dyson V11 more than likely, Dyson DC15 probably. I don't think I'm going to keep that. DC14, both of these are, I mean, I have
multiple 14s. There's a bunch of others I'm trying to think. Both the Infinities. Both the Infinities. I'm trying to remember what's in the basement. What is in the basement? I'm trying to remember. That Orc XL Pro, if I didn't say that already. What is in the basement? I'm trying to remember. That Shark Navigator, the base of the original one, although it's not perfect. The Elite Rewind, again, it's not perfect, but it does run good. Needs new filters. I'm gonna sell my Bissell. Probably, maybe I won't. I'm planning on selling my Bissell Power Clean, the Pure Air upright. More than likely, I'm gonna sell that one. We'll see. I'm still very torn on that one. I keep telling myself I'm gonna sell it, and then I don't. So I don't know. I'm trying to remember. What else? I had a whole list of all the ones I was selling, but I don't know if I've updated it recently. Wish the Optimas had better brush rolls and brush motor. Oh yeah, two Ultimas and Uno. At least eventually. Those I still need to do some work on, so they're not going to be listed for a while, but those are likely not going to stay in the collection once I fix them. Yeah. Please tell me that Uno didn't get flooded. It was in the basement. So, I mean, not flooded, but it did get wet. Because, basement got about 2 inches of water, probably. It should be okay, but I'm purposely not touching any of those for at least another week. Just so they're 100% dry and fine. Might have to replace some bearings. All the vacuums in the basement got flooded. Well, the basement itself got flooded, so yes and no. Flooded, I wouldn't say flooded, because the last time my basement got flooded, it was before we had anything in the drain. So it literally flooded, like up to the stairs. Like up, like to where even the back, like the entryway to the back door was wet, was underwater. This was not that bad, thankfully. So I don't think anything is like permanently damaged. I do worry about the wooden brush rolls, but in theory, if they air dry, they should be fine and not like warped or anything. So yeah. Thanks, Windows. You need to rent a dumpster and just toss everything in the basement. When you showed it briefly in the basement in a video, the vacuums down there looked really bad. See, and people wonder why I don't want to do a video on the vacs in the basement. It's like, yeah, no shit. I know they're bad. I know the ones in the main part of the basement are all the shitty parts ones. That's the point. But there's a small off room that's attached to the basement. That's on the other side of the workbench that I never use, where my eBay vacs are kept, and those got wet too. Not as badly though, because that room had a shut door and everything, but there's still water that got in. Because obviously, yeah, the ones that are like just garbage parts machines, I don't give a shit if they get wet. They're more so just down there just for the sake of being down there in case I need to pull a part off of one of them. They're not actually... I have no plans to sell them. If someone obviously stopped by, I'd give them all to them for free. Heck, I'd pay them $10 to take them. Actually, interesting looking at this list. I sold the Impulse, so I can take that off there. Boss Light I sold, I can take that off there. Yeah, that ESP. Both of my FNGs I'm going to sell because I like the Ultra way more. Sold the Panasonic Performance Plus, so I can scratch that off. Sold the Stratos, so I can remove that. Yeah. Actually, I did sell a few machines on that list. That's kind of cool. So to answer each one of your questions, no, 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 no. You don't need to spam. You don't need to spam the same thing 100 times. Technically, I didn't review the Cleanview Compact Turbo, but it is literally a Power Force Compact Turbo with a longer cord. That is all it is, and more expensive. If you've seen my review on any of the Power Force Compact series, the review for that machine is identical. Other than, I guess, ever so slightly temper the complaint I have about the short cord because it's slightly less short. There's my entire review. Now you, Twitty Bird, Huggy Wuggy, whatever gaming, you've got 5 minutes to go watch that review in its entirety. Or at least skim it, because it's knowing me, it's definitely way longer than 5 minutes. I totally understand asking me a question, but don't ask me it 100 times. Because it's legit annoying. I mean, the Cleanview Compact Turbo does vacuum, the clear window, and height adjustment. What? Are you talking about that fucking Aeroswift thing? No, the Cleanview Compact has a height adjustment. Is that... I thought he was asking about the... Okay, there's two different ones. There's... The one... I thought he was asking about the one that literally is... So there's two different Cleanview Compacts. I thought he was talking about the one that's literally a Power Force compact, but with a cord. Okay, let me look this shit up, because the turbo. Is it just called the... He asked about the Power Force. What? So... Okay, what did Windows just give me a notification for? What the hell was that? We love your feedback. Go away, OneDrive. Okay, are we not talking... That's about the purple one. Isn't that the Aeroswift thing? What the hell? Okay, so Bissell Power Force Compact Turbo. Or no, not Power... Wait, no, Cleanview. I just wrote Power Force. I meant to write Cleanview. So... Okay, so there's a new one out. Okay. Oh, it's still the same thing though. What the hell? Okay, let's go to images. So I thought he was talking about this Cleanview Compact, which this is literally the Power Force Compact with it's the exact same machine, just different color and a longer cord. It either was or is on Amazon for a long time. So this is... I thought he was talking about this one. Which, yeah, this one I've reviewed 100 times is a piece of shit. Don't buy it. And then I guess there's this new fucking version that looks the fucking same. But it does have... So this is like what one of my friends bought. Where I showed her like what vacuum to get. I showed her to get the big green. She's like, oh, I'm on a budget. And I was like, okay, fine, then get the Power Force. And then she bought one of these instead. Because she's like, oh, it's purple. I want it because it's purple. And I'm like, whatever. So... I swear, Amazon, you better not show my goofy-ass purchases. Or things in my lists or whatever. I swear it's... showing all my stuff. Yeah, this is... Is there a point in reviewing this? It just looks like a Power Force compact, but with a height adjustment and a shittier hose. This doesn't look interesting at all. I guess the handle is more akin... to like the higher end liftoff ones. Like, don't review it. Just don't bother. Because I can already tell you, there's no situation where I'm going to recommend... I can already tell you there's no such... Like, if I already know what the conclusion is there a point? Because I can already tell you, don't buy this. For $80, just get a Power Force for $60. Just get a bag Power Force for $60. Or for this price, if you can get a full-size turbo, then it'll be a better machine for that same price for $80. See, they still have this shit. It's just $60. So it is more expensive than the Walmart one, but to be fair, it has a longer cord. And it's only like $10 more. Or $20 more? How much is the compact? Is it 50? I don't even look whenever I go to Walmart, so I don't even know. But yeah, so I mean, this makes sense because it's got a longer cord, but you could also just buy an extension cord. Oh, it's still only an 18-foot cord? Oh, that's trash. Okay, so it doesn't have a longer cord. It's literally just more expensive for no reason. So instead of being $40, it's $60. For no reason. 18-foot cord. That's a joke. That is a literal... That's literally a joke. And then the $80 Cleanview Compact, 23. You don't even get 25 feet. I know, fucking tariffs, goddamn Trump. Piece of shit. I didn't vote for this shit. I voted for fucking Kamala. And if you did, and if you voted for Kamala, then pat yourself on the fucking back, because you don't have to do with any of this shit. Not to get political, but I mean, life is fucking political, guys. This is what happens when you bury your head in the sand and you don't actually fucking get involved. You don't take 2 seconds to to drop a little envelope in a box. Oh, I don't want to do that. They're all the same. Great. Now we got fucking tariffs and fascism. Now we've got U.S. citizens being fucking trafficked by our government and sent to fucking prison, to one of the worst prisons in the fucking world, when they never even were a citizen of that country. And they can't even come back. The government is just straight up engaging in human trafficking, and nobody seems to fucking care. Nobody seems to give a shit. And his approval rating is still like, it's like, his approval rating right now it's like 50-50. It's like 52-48. I'm like, how do you look at this shit and support this shit? I swear. Like, you're fucking gone. Like, you're just gone. Do you think the people that voted for Trump, do you think they changed their minds if they got shipped to that El Salvadorian prison? It's kind of a dirty, or not dirty, but it's kind of an intense, statement. But I mean, it's true. Does anyone remember the shit in Gaza now? I don't vote, but I will say the only problem with Kamala is that she would have taken our firearms rights away. That's so fucking stupid. That's so like, fact attack. Like, I don't mean this in like a mean way or anything, but it's like, what? Both her and her vice president are gun owners themselves. Tim Walz, her running mate, literally goes hunting on a regular basis. She was even in an interview before the election where she said, if someone breaks into my house, they're getting shot. And they're going to take your fucking guns away. This is why we're dealing with all this shit. This is why we're dealing with all this shit. People still believe that shit. People still that's it. I'm doing the political channel. I'm not doing this shit anymore. This is fucking stupid. Okay, I'm gonna drop this after the end of this sentence. Go subscribe to Midwest Progressive. I'm gonna start doing this shit. This is fucking insane. This is stupid. People still believe that shit? People still believe that that Democrats take away people's fucking guns. Some of those liberal fucking people that I know regularly shoot guns and regularly have guns. How is this still a fucking thing? This makes no sense. How is that still a fucking thing? President Obama in 2009 had a supermajority, had 60 Senate seats, 60 Democratic Senate seats. They didn't ban guns. They didn't abolish the Second Amendment. Trump right now is directly violating the Constitution. Trump himself advocated for terminating the entire Constitution. Back attack, this isn't directed at you. You look, like you said, it's what you heard, and you haven't looked enough into it to make a determination either way. That's fine. That's what I'm saying is it's insane that is still the default position for so many people. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it's so crazy that people still think Republicans are good on the economy. I'm old enough to remember George W. Bush and the end of his fucking term when the whole fucking economy crashed. Did we not forget the last time this piece of shit was in office? And the whole fucking economy crashed. And people voted him back in because of the fucking economy. Because they thought that he'd be better on the economy than a woman who went to school and had a degree in economics. This is fucking stupid. I swear, my brain cells are fucking dying at record pace. You know, I envy the people that aren't involved in politics. I envy those people. I really do, because it's got to be so much fun just not knowing what's going on, not caring, not having to worry about it. It's got to be great. There's a reason why smart people are so depressed. I'm not saying I'm smart, but maybe I should clarify. There's a reason why people who are informed are depressed. Because you know all the stupid shit that's happening. I'm planning on moving to Germany now. Yeah, after they just elected their own fucking right-wing government. That makes sense. Hell, Canada's getting better because Polyev is now not going to win in a landslide. He's probably going to lose in a landslide, which is hilarious. Which, it's kind of funny, because if you think about it, again, not to get political, but think about this for a sec. Trudeau, the Liberal Prime Minister, was incredibly unpopular. He steps down, new Prime Minister comes in right off the bat, and now that new Prime Minister is winning, when the Conservatives and Polyev were set to beat Trudeau and the Liberals by a landslide just a couple months ago. Would we be in a different situation now if back in July Biden had actually resigned in the same way that Nixon did, and Harris was the incumbent president for a few months before the election? Alright, I'm off to Adelaide, Australia. Hey, say hi to Dankpods for me. But yeah, because imagine this. Imagine if Harris was president, and everyone's like, oh no, I don't like Harris, I didn't vote for her, what the hell? And then she's like, alright, that plan I had for the first-time homebuyers loan, I'm going to work on it right now. A few months before the election, I'm going to work on it right now. I'm going to pass legal marijuana. I'm going to enact the child tax credit nationwide. I'm going to do some shit. She would have won. It's crazy. But they want to do it the proper way. They want her to be elected fair and square. She loses. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. He was the best president of my lifetime, but still, fuck him, because we're in this mess. Move to Phantom Land, yeah. Canada's like America, but better. It's colder, though. I don't like the cold. I want to get some Canadian vacuums. Can y'all send me some Canadian vacuums? Remember when Trump reviewed a SIBO? Yeah. There was that thing on the floor. It was the greatest thing. I walked in the room. I said, wow, what's that thing on the floor? And then I took this machine, this apparatus. Apparently people say it sucks. And I pushed it over the thing, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, it was gone. I don't have a very good Trump impression. Canadian Power Glide Platinum. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Blue and yellow. Pretty good. All right. Okay. Did I lose viewers? We're away from. We're back. We're back off of politics. Are we good? 17 viewers. Okay. Apparently, I had more viewers when I was talking when I was yelling about politics. Okay. But still, we're going back to vacuums. Subscribe to Midwest Progressive. Um, all the videos on there right now are shit. Just ignore them. Yeah. Politics. Give you a Dirt Devil Prime rewind. Isn't that the one that's just an Elite? Elite rewind? Because I've got 2 of those already. Although for some reason my NOS Elite rewind, every time I use it now the brush rolls off balance, which really annoys me. Or not Elite rewind, just rewind. Technically it's just rewind. TTI shenanigans. Shenanigans. I want that Elite 350 that had a maple leaf patterns on the bag, Canadian exclusive. That's cool. How many vacuums do you have? I don't know. A lot. 100? 150? 200? I don't know. By the way, the next video, the video that's going to go up tomorrow. Or tonight, I don't know. I could upload it tonight. Should I upload it tonight? It's just an unboxing of the Sanitaire. The new one. Because I bought my friend one. Show the 14. It's right there. Can I eat it if you want to? This is why I don't get my hopes up. And to be fair, I didn't. I made sure not to say anything. Um, I talked to this person, had a Phantom Thunder, new in the box, $150. I asked if she'd ship. She asked me where, zip code, got me some prices. I asked her if she could set it up with Marketplace. She said, let me get my daughter to do it. I'm not very good at this. I said, no worries. I appreciate it. Thank you. She said, you're welcome. And then today she marked it as sold. So I assume that someone bought it locally. So much for getting a brand new Thunder. It's about what I expected, honestly. When I saw that she was willing to ship it and everything, and she's being very nice and you know offering to do it, I was like, this is gonna fall through. I just know it. Mm-hmm. It's about what I expected. Yep. I wonder who got that Phantom. I hope it was. I really hope it was a vacuum collector. Wait, what happened? Yeah, you're too young to be on the platform. So you're not even actually allowed to have a channel. So... You're not supposed to have an account when you're 9 years old. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. I'll see you guys later. And, yeah. New video will be coming out very soon. Possibly tonight. Yeah. You guys have a great rest of your night. Take care.